This video is brought to you by Core Gun Belts, the ultimate EDC belt. Check them out at coreessentials.com.
All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Appreciate the support. Today we're going to take a quick look here at a question that I get asked regarding the military, and essentially it is switching occupations or switching MOSs. Some of you guys that joined the Army, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, anything like that, definitely put comments down below because I'm only going to talk about the Marine Corps. That's the only thing that I know, and I don't claim to know much about all the other services. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a take to some of you guys that have been asking that. But before I do that, I figure I'll play my re-enlistment video that I got. It's really bad quality, but I think this one was in 2009, 2010. I think it was 2009. And it was in Afghanistan, so it was a great time. I re-enlisted. I was a rank of sergeant back then. So let's check it out. Isn't that awesome? Anyways, the guy right behind me, Master Gunnery Sergeant O'Brien, awesome dude. I mean, the guy was fantastic. It was a Master Sergeant when I was there in Afghanistan, and then he got promoted to Master Gunnery Sergeant right after, a few months after we were there. He had some medical issues going on too at the same time that we were there. But Master Gunnery O'Brien was one of the guys that I looked up as a Marine, because he was just an outstanding guy and an outstanding Marine. So check it out, guys. I get asked this question, and I get asked this question by a lot of young kids that are trying to enlist in the Marine Corps. So essentially they enlisted for whatever MOS or occupation, and then typically the recruiter tells them, well, you know, when you finish your 4 years, you can move into a different MOS. And, you know, recruiters are a different conversation. We could talk about that all day long. Essentially, they're trying to do the job, and they're going to do whatever that has to be done in order to accomplish that job, right? So you can't hate them for that. But here's the deal. If you're planning to switch MOSs, first of all, this is a really early question to ask because, first of all, you're going to go through 4 years of military service. So God knows what's going to happen 4 years from now. Maybe you hate the military. Maybe you love your occupation and you're going to stay there. Maybe you just don't want to start over into a different job, right? So it's really hard to answer this question, but some jobs will require you to do 4 years and land move. It's called land moving to a different job. For example, if you want to be an EOD tech, obviously deal with bombs and things like that. You know what? Big shout out to Armed with Information. I'm going to put his channel down below. He's a retired Army EOD tech, now that I think about it. Big shout out to him. Great dude. So check him out. But if you want to be an EOD tech in the Marine Corps, you have to do 4 years and then land move into that occupation if they take you. So obviously you have to be a pretty square away Marine for them to take you. You know, other things will be like CID, Criminal Investigation Division. Again, you will have to be a military policeman for 4 years, and then if you get the chance to move into that, kind of like the detective side of the house, you're gonna be able to move into that. You're gonna have to land move into that occupation. I want to say 5821. Military police was 5811. So there are some jobs that you do have to move in order to move to that job. But typically you'll be a sergeant, or typically you'll be a corporal getting ready to get promoted to sergeant, and they allow you to do that, right? So that makes sense. Now, in some other jobs, let's say you're a mechanic and you hate your job and you want to move to a different job, there's a possibility, you know, you want to be an MP or you want to be an infantryman and you got stuck being the mailman. There's a possibility you could do that. And back in the days, you used to be able to re-enlist and actually ask for that. And a lot of times it would happen because you're re-enlisting, they want you to re-enlist, right? So it's kind of hard to say because here's the deal. It's old always, always, always the Marine Corps needs, the military needs. If they need you, they will help you out. But if they don't, they truly don't care. That's just the way it is. So meaning, if we need guys to be CID or EOD and you're re-enlisting, it will be quite easy for you to get that occupation. But if they don't need them, you won't get it. So it is always, always, always the military needs. And I keep telling some of you young guys out there, this is not Burger King. You're not going to get it your way. It's not your way. It's their way always. It's just like that for schools, for training, for deployments. If they want you to deploy, you will deploy. They don't care if you just came from deployment. They send you to deployment again. That's just how it is. So you got to keep that in mind. So if they need you, I guess to answer your question, can you switch occupations? Of course, if they need you. Now, one thing that you got to keep in mind if you get to that point, and again, to me, it's kind of like a waste of time. Actually, maybe not a waste of time doing the video, but when you spend 4 years in the Marine Corps, you're going to have a lot of guys that are going to give you advice. You're going to know people that are good Marines, that you consider good Marines, that you consider, people that you want to follow. And those guys are going to give you great advice. You don't need to listen to me. If you're listening to me and you're about to move into a different occupation, man, you got to run. Because by this point, you should have guys that want to help you out. And you should have guys that you look up to that are going to help you. But just keep in mind, once you move to an occupation, to me, the biggest, I guess in a way, thing that I want to know is promotions. Do they promote? How many guys are they promoting to staff sergeant? Because again, you will be a sergeant. In the Marine Corps, you're probably about to be a sergeant. So are they going to promote you to the rank of staff sergeant? Easy. Because you move into an occupation that doesn't promote, and you may stick around for a while before you get that staff sergeant rank, right? Some jobs, communication guys are primarily, I remember this, and supply guys. Some of those guys were staff sergeants at 6 years in the Marine Corps. Us, MPs, I think I picked up staff sergeant at 8 years and 10 months or 11 months, right about 9 years, but typically it would take longer than that. So here you got a guy that is same quality or same qualification. This guy's picking up E6 at 6 years, but this guy's picking up E6 at 9 years. 3 years different based on the occupation. So if you plan to move out to a different occupation, you always want to look for promotion. The same thing when you're enlisting. Obviously, pick something that you love. Obviously, pick something that you're passionate about. But look at the promotions, because you don't want to get stuck being an E3 forever. So, can you switch jobs in the military? Yes, as long as they want you to, and as long as they need you to. So, let me know what you think. If you like this type of videos, click like, stay subscribed, because we got a lot of videos coming out. Big shout out to Core Essentials for being a great sponsor of this channel. And as always, guys, God is in control.